Hey everyone. So real quick, I just wanted to touch base on this. We're not going to cover it very long, but I just wanted to bring this up. I saw a really good Vox article that I wanted to share with everyone, and it's this. Why Omicron could bring the deadliest phase in the pandemic yet. So we're going to go through this real quick. I don't think this is very long. Actually, it's pretty long. Fuck. All right, we'll just do a quick skim. But essentially what this breaks down to is that Omicron is spreading a lot. Now, from what everything I've gathered, and you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, folks, from what I can see, it seems like the likelihood of dying or having long-term debilitating issues from Omicron is much lower, but the infectiousness, that is how easy it is to spread from one person to another, is much higher. Yeah, 25 to 50% more transmissible, according to some UK estimates. So seen sharp rise in hospitalizations, about 30% higher over the week. So this person points out that this echoes Shelley Berry, Omicron. It's not Delta, but it'll still kill your anti-vax ass. Nice. This person actually in the article goes through and kind of compares this to December 2020, where we had the first major variant coming about. We had all of a sudden huge spikes because of it being winter. And 70% of the population had, what was this?
That's just saying how much of the population is
vaccinated
at various rates, yeah.
Yeah. And so they say here, yet epidemiologists and health officials are sounding the alarm about another tsunami of infections in hopes people will take more precautions, probably not, and to help the hospitals and health workers prepare to care for the sickest patients. Omicron could be just as deadly as Delta, even if it causes milder disease. Celine Gouder, an infectious disease specialist who has advised the White House, told reporters this week. Considering the potential impact on the healthcare system, it is also crucial as decision makers weigh another round of restrictions, closing schools, banning large gatherings, and reimposing mask mandates. In one of the most comprehensive forecasts to date, researchers from the COVID-19 Modeling Consortium at the University of Texas at Austin on Friday chalked out 18 different scenarios for Omicron. Their study was not peer-reviewed, but the findings show that the U.S. is facing yet another dangerous variant, while the conditions for spreading it the holiday season are their most favorable. So it's not peer-reviewed, so take it with a massive grain of salt. So we have a variation of COVID-19 that is much more easily transmissible. And while it doesn't necessarily have the highest symptoms, because it could put that burden on hospital supplies, it could still cause large quantities of death. And so this is what I do want to compare this to real quick. This is the New York Times. This is the U.S. cases. As of the 26th, that was yesterday, we lost another 1,300 people. I've watched this now daily for pretty much a while, and you'll notice that this has stayed pretty consistent. In fact, we are now up to the 750,000. We aren't even useful anymore. It's now 814,970. It is very clear, very, very possible that this is going to spike into 1 million. What else we got here? We've got some updates here. Continued struggles with Delta variant and the emergence of the highly infectious Omicron variant, which I have seen some things saying that it does bypass the vaccines a little bit. Though that is not, I'm not making that claim. I'm only saying I've seen this in some articles.
So the data that I saw for our local area, and I can't source this, but you are welcome to look up data for your state. I do not want to dox myself right now.
Nope.
But the cases of people who had COVID of some kind and were already vaccinated doubled. Okay, and they were counting this by people who were people who were in hospitals, or infected. So yeah, no, that's a thing. That's a rough one. You know what story we didn't get to share? Was when I had to go into urgent care.
So, bring that up. That's perfect for this. Let me learning buttons. There you go. Go.
New things. So in November, I ended up with a stomach bug. We weren't sure what it was, and there was a lot of consistent pain. We went into urgent care. Cool. And the doctor was like, I'm really not positive what's going on here. I think you should go get imaging, and I'm going to need to send you to the ER for that. So okay, he did. We went. Um, and we were there for how many hours? We were there for at least 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours before I even got saw by a person to get me in the system. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're sitting there and we're still waiting because we can't even talk to a doctor or anything, or a nurse or anyone. And sure enough, like I'm listening to this other guy, in the waiting room, and there's a ton of people in the waiting room. This place is packed. Okay. All right. And he's still got like the little half of the IV thing in his arm. That's it. But apparently, like, no, he came in after having a heart attack. And he's just sitting there in the waiting room. That's it. He's just got the IV still in his arm and he's just in the waiting room. He was saying that the most that they did was, like an EKG, checked him out, and now he just gets to be in the waiting room because, goddamn, what else is there? God, if that's not horrifying. Like, seriously, like, I'm at least, stable at this point. But, like, no, he just had a heart attack and you guys are like, nothing.
Well, and like we thought this was a huge emergency, and so the problem is because there was a confusion of whether this was like a viral infection in the gut for Zena or whether this was like appendicitis. And so the problem was is like we couldn't make a decision there, and so we went with the cautious answer, which was go to the hospital. Waited there like 4.5 hours, and ended up basically like having to leave and just take care of Zena at home. Luckily, it did turn out to be just an intestinal virus, but like. Mm-hmm. God, I can only imagine what would happen if that was actually appendicitis. I remember when I had my appendicitis and they got me in immediately. I was in surgery that night.
Oh, absolutely. And this is a hospital that I've been in there at various times for other reasons that I've never seen their wait this long. This is a place where generally like, no, they can get you in pretty quick and get you through. Like this is not a busy major hospital by any means.
Yeah, so that's our horror story of being in line waiting. Not the worst, but definitely not great. Some updates here. Mm-hmm. We've got caseloads are growing rapidly in the Northeast, where Omicron already has a foothold. Reports of new cases in New York shot up more than 80% over 2 weeks. In Washington, D.C., more than 3 times as many infections have been identified each day now than at the starting of December. Vaccinated people without booster shots are believed to be vulnerable to the infection by Omicron. Though there has been some hopeful reports from South Africa, the severity of the disease caused by the new variant remains unclear. I've heard mostly it's not bad. Hospitalization rates remain very high in much of the Midwest and New England. A doctor in Michigan, a state with one of the highest hospitalization rates, described living in a constant crisis. In Florida, oh no, new cases reports remain well below peak levels but are rising sharply. The state's average around 5,000 cases a day, up from its 1,300 at the start of the month. So if you look at the cases, this is what's happening. And the death rate stayed the same. Like, I just want to make it clear here. I'm not trying to spread misinformation. I'm not trying to say anything about Omicron. I don't know enough about Omicron. I don't. I really need you guys to take care of yourselves. I'm going to keep doing these videos until this thing ends. Zena and I really want our community to survive and be well. So here's the request. Wash your damn hands. Wear a mask.
Yes.
Get vaccinated if you're able.
A couple notes. If you are confused on how to do any of that, we do have a COVID-19 info channel. We can give you some pointers or places to look.
That is safe and accessible to everybody.
Yes. Also, your county's or city's website or your state's website will give you more information, can tell you how to access certain things. The Health and Human Services Department, for whatever your state calls it, is also a really great resource if you need stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't worry, Chestburster. In our previous video about Omicron, I made that joke as well. This isn't meant to be a long discussion. It's not meant to go into like very strong specifics. Please look for data. Please double check anything we said here. But also, please get vaccinated. Please take care of yourselves.
Keep wearing your masks.
And I would also say this, and I'm going to be really clear about this. As a therapist, this hurts me to say. If you are on the left and you have any doubt about the vaccine, either one, Do your damn research and listen to the rest of your brothers and sisters and your envy friends. 2, get the fuck out of my movement. You don't dare get to call yourself a leftist and then do anti-science nonsense. This is up there with those people who are tankies that like comment on the channel occasionally and are like, therapy is just a way the capitalist system keeps you content so you don't ever strike out and get revolution. Do you need a lozenge? Are you okay? Like, do we need to call somebody? Do you need a hug?
An adult?
Or a taser? Yeah. Please yell at everybody in your life. I'm sorry. And I mean gently, lovingly. Yell at them. Yes, Philoceratops, people do in fact say that on this channel. They have said it many times. Not us, mind you. Just occasional comments I get a thing of some incredibly edgy Dark Lord being like, man, you can't do therapy. Therapy makes it so you become compliant to the system, man. Man, I've heard hippies say that. It's so weird. Anywho, we love you guys. Please check the COVID-19 channel in our Discord. The Discord link is down below. One of our mods, Lil, one of our admins, is there often and posts stuff all the time, so check that stuff out. And yes, folks, we love you, and we will see you in the next one, okay? All right? Bye.
Bye.
If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.